Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Grace Jones. I'm a junior at JSU. I'll be in Lit Block this fall, and for today's presentation I'll be talking about math apps and digital games in preschool through second grade. So first I'd like to talk about two ERIC articles that I found. The first one is called Raising Early Achievement in Math with Interactive Apps, a Randomized Control Trial. So I have several different quotes listed here, but I'm just going to kind of hit the high points from them. So this study found that math apps are great because it allows students to directly manipulate what they are doing on the app. It allows for multisensory learning through auditory and visual inputs. It provides immediate feedback for learners. It allows learners to regulate their pace of what they're learning. It is good for scaffolding and individualized learning. And so the last bullet point right here is just kind of my own commentary, and I said that this study proved that incorporating math apps into classroom helps students better understand the topics and retain the information that they learned. The second ERIC article that I found is called Using Math Apps for Improving Student Learning, an Exploratory Study in an Inclusive Fourth Grade Classroom. So although my topic is through pre-K through second grade and this study is on fourth grade, I believe that it can still apply to all different grade levels because it just showed some really great facts and stuff about using math apps in the classroom. So some of those benefits were that it allows self-pacing, it provides immediate feedback, and it breaks down complex processes into small steps for students. And again, my commentary, I said, this study ultimately found that using math apps in the classroom did, in fact, improve math skills and retention, as well as it narrowed the achievement gap between below average, average, and above average students. And so those two ERIC articles found some kind of similar results, and so I just wanted to hit the high points from those once again. So they found that math apps provide instant feedback for students, which is so helpful because lots of times students could work on a worksheet, we'll say 15 problems for example, and they do the same steps over and over and over for every 15 problems, and they're doing it wrong the entire time. And so they turn in their paper, they get their paper back a few days later after their teacher grades it, and they realize that they did it wrong every single time. And so that might be hard for a student to correct after they've done it so many times one way. But with math apps, it provides instant feedback. So if a student does one problem wrong, it automatically tells them that they did it wrong, and oftentimes it will show them how to correct that, and so they can move forward from there with the correct knowledge of how to solve it. And also they don't have to wait for the teacher to grade it, which could take days. They know exactly their grade right then. They know exactly if they're doing it correctly or not. Math apps also allow students to self-pace, which again I think is super important, because you have students that are above average, you have average and below average students, and everybody learns at a different speed and a different pace. And so our above average students, they may grasp the concept after 5 problems and want to move on to a more advanced topic or more advanced problems like of the type that we just did, or our below average students needs to do 15 of those problems over and over and over in order to grasp the material and master it before moving on to something new. And so these math apps allow students to do that, and no one's being pulled behind or no one's being left behind because of moving forward, because everyone can work at their own pace. These math apps allow individualized instruction, which I think is so important in these days and age. So teachers can actually assign specific tasks for these students to do on these apps based on their skills and abilities. So the teacher can assign the advanced students something harder than she assigns the below students. So I think that's really good because so that no one gets bored and everyone's actually learning what they need to learn. And I just added to that I don't think that math apps should replace math instruction in the classroom. I still think that it's important that the teacher is, lecturing in some sort and teaching the students, making eye contact with the students, that they're not just learning solely from an iPad or computer. But I think that the iPad or computer and math apps should be added to that instruction, and it would just supplement their math skills and just improve their math skills and give them opportunities to use them. So next we're going to be looking at some different types of math apps that I found. And so my first question was, what are math apps? And so I decided that math apps can review previously learned content, teach students new content, and they often come in the form of a digital game. So how are math apps used in the classroom? And again, it kind of goes back to our ERIC articles. It can be used for differentiation and individualization. It provides instant feedback and progress monitoring in the classroom, which we will talk about in a minute. So differentiation and individualization, we've already kind of talked about this next. So it allows students to master one skill before moving on to the next. And in traditional classrooms, students were all taught the same skill regardless of their ability. But with this technology, teachers are able to assign specific tasks based on student ability, like we've talked about. So instant feedback, talked about that already, how they correct the problem as they're going rather than doing something wrong continuously. And progress monitoring, haven't talked about this much yet. So many of these apps that we're going to be looking at allows teachers to look at what their students are doing in the moment. They are able to look at how well their students doing, if they need help with something. And so it allows teachers to go to that student and help them if it's needed instantly, rather than waiting until they're done with the assignment to help them, which can often happen with worksheets. It also saves teachers time from grading things because they're able to just progress monitor through a touch of a button instead of having to look at every single student's work individually. So here I have just a short little video. I'm not going to play it, but you're welcome to go back and watch it. I'd really encourage you to. In this video, this teacher, she talks about the different things that she looks for in math apps for her classroom. And she discusses 3 different apps, I think, that she has found beneficial to her classroom, and she makes some great points about using math apps in the classroom. She teaches a higher level math courses than 2nd grade, but I still think everything that she said can apply to younger level math courses as well. So now we'll actually dig into looking at different math apps. First, we're going to look at some free math apps. So when I was trying to decide what math apps to look at, I just Googled teacher recommendations for math apps in the classroom. And I actually found this article by commonsense.org that listed several different apps. And I have the free ones listed here, but we're just going to talk about 3 of them instead of going into all of them. We're going to talk about PBS Kids Measure Up, PreK Math, and Moose Math, which you can see bolded on your screen. So the first one is PBS Kids Measure Up. I have the app face right here inside of this iPad to the right. So this app is designed for ages 3 to 5, and it teaches math concepts of measuring, so length, width, capacity, and weight, which is actually a kindergarten standard in the state of Alabama. So this app involves many different PBS Kids characters. So if your students love to watch PBS Kids, that's some of their favorite TV shows, they will enjoy this app because it will engage them with some of the characters that they love to watch. So this app motivates children to answer questions correctly through digital rewards, and it also provides immediate feedback for students. Students can also self-pace with this app, and parents and teachers can progress monitor with this companion app called PBS Kids Supervision. Our next app is PreK Math by Moose. PreK Math is designed for younger students ages 2 to 6, and this app teaches students counting, addition, greater than and less than, subtraction, sorting, and patterns. And once again, you can see what that app looks like in the App Store there. And this app is aligned to Common Core standards, which is so reassuring and so great for teachers to know that their students are doing things and playing games that align with the standards that they're supposed to be meeting, and it matches what they're learning in the classroom. Our next one is Moose Math by Moose, and it's similar to PreK Math, but it's for a little bit older students, ages 3 to 7. It promotes counting, addition, subtraction, sorting, geometry, and more, according to their website. So in this app, students have a city that they get to build and decorate, which can only be done by receiving supplies by answering math problems correctly. So this really gives students a sense of purpose in solving their math problems instead of just solving the math problem to solve it. they are receiving rewards which they can use in this app, and so that motivates them to continue to want to solve math problems correctly. And it just gives them a sense of purpose in doing so. Parents and teachers can also progress monitor with this app, which we know is great. And this app is once again aligned with Common Core standards, which is just so great and reassuring for teachers to know that their students are receiving the instruction that they're required to receive and need to receive at their age and grade level. So now we're going to look at some paid math apps. Again, that same article that I mentioned the first time from commonsense.org listed several different paid math apps, but we're going to look at 3. The first one is Peg and Cat, the tree problem. The second one is Dragon Box Numbers, and the third one is Love to Count by Pirate Trio. So Peg and Cat Tree Problem by PBS Kids, again, is for ages 3 to 6, and it teaches math skills like spatial reasoning, measurement, counting, greater than and less than, and sorting. And again, we need our students to feel a sense of purpose in solving these math problems. And so in this app, a cat is stuck in a tree, and you are able to rescue that cat from the tree by correctly answering math problems. And so again, it gives the students a sense of purpose behind solving them. This app is again aligned with Common Core state standards, and it is available for $2.99 in the App Store. Next is Dragon Box Numbers. It's a little more pricey. It's $7.99 in the App Store, but after reading about it and doing some research on it, I think that it's probably a really great investment. It's for ages 4 to 8. It teaches math skills like counting, sorting, addition, subtraction, arranging, number lines, decimals, and greater than, less than. This app allows multiple student profiles and progress monitoring, which is ideal in the classrooms. So in this app, students they don't necessarily have to have the same iPad every time. So if your classroom doesn't have assigned iPads for each student, it's just you grab a different one. It's great because they can play this app on any of the iPads and pick up right where they left off. So they don't have to have the same one every time. Again, progress monitoring, it's a great thing. Our last paid app to look at is Love to Count by Pirate Trio. It's available for $3.99 in the App Store. And this app teaches children ages 4 to 7 math skills like counting, ordering, addition, subtraction, division, differentiating between left and right, arranging, and balancing. And so in this math app, students receive a sense of purpose to solving their math problems through receiving passwords to open the treasure chest. So, it's pirate themed with the treasure chest, and they receive those passwords by answering math problems correctly. Again, this app allows multiple student profiles and progress monitoring, which is great for classrooms. So now we're going to look at some subscription-based math resources. And we have 3 of those to look at. The first one is Matific, second is Stride Academy, and the third is IXL. So Matific, after researching it, I think that it's just such a great investment. The app is free, but it is $10 per student to use. But I think that it's so great because it, once again, is aligned with Common Core state standards, and teachers can pull up those standards, and they can actually pull up what textbook they have. So I know lots of Alabama classrooms use Go Math textbooks, and so with this app and this program, teachers can pull up the standards and like the textbook chapters and see how this app and what activities to do on this app aligns with those standards and the chapter of the textbook that they're learning. And so I think that's just so great and beneficial for teachers. So once again, they are reassured that their students are doing something that goes along with what they're learning, and that it is improving their math skills and that they are having fun while doing it. So this app allows teachers to progress monitor, which we know is a great thing. And teachers can actually assign work based on student ability. So teachers can assign the more advanced students more advanced math problems and things to do on this app, and the below students not as advanced activities to do. And it's a form of digital game, which again makes it fun for students. And this app is actually designed by math educators. So that's just, again, reassuring for teachers to know that this app is actually beneficial to their students. And it is designed for grades kindergarten